Good morning, everybody. All right, got a pretty interesting lesson today. We're going to talk about piecewise functions, which is one of my favorite lessons to teach. We're going to do a warm-up, which is the first warm-up of quarter 4, so you can get some extra credit for quarter 4. So make sure that, I'm sure you've already sent me your warm-ups from quarter 3, so you can toss those. And then find a spot in your notebook, probably in the back, where you can write down the warm-ups from quarter 4. This is the first one. So we're going to have a few throughout the quarter that you're supposed to collect. So here's the first warm-up. So go ahead and write it down. It says, at a university, there are 5 females for every 3 males. If there are 6,000 male students, how many are female? Except for there's no question mark. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do for the next couple weeks is that my warm-ups will probably be sometimes silly things, and because that's who I am, I'm a silly person. And sometimes there'll be problems like this, which is an ACT problem. So, let's see, there are 5 females for every 3 males, so that makes me think that we should set up a proportion. So I've got females on top and males on the bottom, 5 over 3. And then it says if there are 6,000 male students, how many are female? So if I set up another proportion here, 6,000 male. So if you look back over here, the males were on the bottom, so I'm going to put this male on the bottom too. And I don't know the female, so I'll put an X. And then to solve this equation, you've got to cross multiply. So 3 times X is 3X, and 5 times 6,000 is 30,000. Divide by 3 on both sides, and you get 10,000, which is A. Okay. That's it for the warm-up. Make sure that you copy down everything, including the sentence and the answer, in your warm-ups. Okay. All right, now piecewise functions, they do take a bit, which is obnoxious and hard to teach from a distance. But the nice news about this is that we're only going to do 2 examples today for your notes, and then your homework will only be 4 examples, and that'll be on graph paper. And I really warn you this time, you're not going to know what to do unless you watch the video. So make sure that you watch the video on this one. This one's important. It's only 2 examples. You can get through it. Okay, so I'm going to just use graph paper for my notes today because I think it's going to be easier. Today is 4.6. This is piecewise functions. I also strongly suggest that you actually participate in this and not just watch. It'll make a big difference for you. You're also going to need 2 colors for this. I'm going to use highlighters. I've got yellow and pink, but you can use whatever you think is necessary. Just make sure that it's light enough that you can still see through it if you mark on it. This is all one problem, which looks crazy. Okay, so we're supposed to graph f of x, which remember is the same thing as y. It's just an output. It's the function that has f in it, or the function called f that has x in it. And then it says that the function is 2x plus 4 if x is less than or equal to 1, and it's negative x plus 3 if x is greater than 1. So here's what this means. A piecewise function is a function that is in pieces. It's actually 2 different straight lines. The first straight line is y equals 2x plus 4. And the second straight line is y equals negative x plus 3. And so for some of my graph, I'll be graphing this, and some of my graph, I'll be graphing that. And this is the parameter that kind of tells you when those things are going to happen. So I'm going to draw a graph. Make sure you label the x and y axis. That's always important. Okay. So right here it says that if it's less than or equal to 1, we're going to do this thing, and if it's greater than 1, we're going to do that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off my graph in colors. I'm going at x equals 1. And the other side is x is less than or equal to 1. So see, right at 1 is where it changes colors. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to graph this one that's less than 1. That is the pink area. So I'm going to highlight this one in pink because that's going to be in the pink area. And this one is going to be in the yellow area. All right, so I'm going to graph the pink one first. It looks like there's a y-intercept of 4, so I'm going to start up on 4. And then the slope is 2, same thing as 2 over 1, so I'm going to go up 2 and over 1. And it looks like that's as far as I can go, so I'm going to go down the other way. Down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And I'm going to get up and go get my scary sharp ruler. And draw it in. Now the arrow only goes on one end because this end it stops. It stops right at 1. And you see how it says equal to? That means that this dot is filled in because that means that at 1 the answer is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's not included here. So this one is included. So that is like a solid dot. And this one is not included, doesn't have that equals to, so that one's going to be an open dot when we graph them. All right, now the yellow section is a little bit harder. Normally you would start at the y-intercept of 3 and then go down 1 over 1. But that's not what we're going to do this time because we can't actually start over here at 3 because that's in the pink section. So we just have to imagine. So you're going to have to imagine with me. Imagine that it starts at 3, and then we go down 1 over 1 to here, and then it goes down 1 over 1 to there, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, etc. So normally it starts at 3 and does this, right? And I draw a picture either way, but right now I can only draw in the yellow, and I put that open dot because remember here it says that it's greater than or equal to. It doesn't say that it's equal to, it just says it's greater than, which means that there's just a dot there. Alright, then I draw in that part of the graph. And that's what that looks like. So it kind of looks like two different graphs. One in the pink part and one in the yellow part. And that's what it's supposed to look like. They don't have to meet in the middle. One can go up, the other can go down. That's totally fine. Notice the arrows only go on the ends here. And that's how you graph a piecewise function. You got 4 of these for your homework. So go ahead and pause it if you need more time.